Okay, so what I thought I would do this week, and kind of in keeping with the theme of favorites and least favorites, last week was top 5 favorite minifigures. This week is bottom 5 least favorite minifigures. First though, let me say there's not a lot of bad minifigures. There's not really like a horrible minifigure. I know a lot of you, well, not a lot of you, some of you have said when I did the least favorite sets, they're like, "Oh, you're complaining." It's kind of the point. Like it's the things I like the least. I'm not saying that I'm not trying to demean the objects or anything. I'm giving my opinion as to what I think is worth your money and what I think isn't. So there's not really a horrible minifigure. You don't go out and just buy minifigures if you go to like Target or Toys R Us or whatever. They always come in sets. So I mean, there's not really a bad, like you just went out and bought a minifigure. I mean, you can do that if you do it online, but there's not really a horrible minifigure. So this is just my opinion on that. Number 5 choice here, least favorite, is the Geonosian that came in the Geonosian Starfighter. The reason being, it's kind of a cool looking alien in the movie, and then in the figure, just not a lot of detail. Chest piece is okay. You can kind of tell where you see these black pieces. That's supposed to be the actual outline and a shadow behind. So it's supposed to look like it has the bug body. But there's no, because it's kind of a minifigure, the actual minifigure body, there's no carryover from the side to the back that it has that bug skeleton, so it just ends up looking like he's wearing a shirt with kind of a goofy head, and because the head is all one color, there's not a lot of detail present there. So it's just kind of a disjointed minifigure, not so great. There is a new version of this coming out pretty soon. There's a new remake of the Geonosian Starfighter, so hopefully they will do a better job with him. But that is my number 5 choice, least favorite. Put him off to the side. Number 4 choice is Jedi Masters. I think it's Sayi-Tin or Saw-C-Tin or something. This guy comes in the T6 Jedi Shuttle, and the only reason it's really a bad minifigure, everything else is nice. He's got the color scheme kind of as his movie character does. The head's a pretty nice detail. It's not too bad. It's a little alien. That is really bright light. Let's see if I can make that less. There we go. That's better. Sorry. The worst part about this minifigure is the headpiece, the hairpiece, I guess is what you call it. It doesn't fit. It's really bright. I'm just noticing that now. Let's try. There we go. Sorry. I've just noticed the headpiece that goes with this just doesn't really pull off the look that he's kind of an alien. It just looks like he has a goofy hat on. It looks a lot like the head crabs from Half-Life. I said that before in the actual review. But you can see it's just big. Like it has a lot of overhang. The head horns are just way too big. I know that's kind of how it is in the movie character, but because of the movie character is actual makeup and not a tiny little plastic figure, it's way easier to pull off that look. But this is just a huge headpiece, hat, hair, whatever you want to call it. And it just does not work. It doesn't pull off the look I know they're trying to go for. And it just looks really goofy. So, not a good minifigure, in my opinion. Number 3 choice. I'm sure a lot of you, if you've seen a lot of my videos, will understand this right away. It is the Magna Guard. Let me fix that real quick. Thought I had this all lined up, but I guess not. There we go. Magna Guard. Not a great minifigure. Not one of my favorite sets. If you've seen some of my stuff before, But it's just not a great minifigure. The head is really tiny, in my opinion, and it's not really even a head. It's just kind of a goofy plastic cape extension. It's just weird. The only reason it's not higher up on the list is because it does have really cool arms. I like the arms. So, just weird. Like, it doesn't really work. The head is way too small, and there's not a lot of detail anywhere else. So that just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. The heads are tiny. Like, if you look compared to a minifigure, it is really, really small. So it just makes them look kind of pinheaded. Number 2 choice, least favorite figure. This might surprise a lot of you, but it is in fact a standard, just a battle droid. These guys have been around for a long time. There's newer versions of this where the hands are straight out, but on these versions, anything they hold is sideways, so that doesn't really work. They're really small. They're very frail looking, and I know the actual characters are kind of like that, but they are just, I think they're too small, even compared to like the Magna Guard. They're pretty tiny. And it's the kind of the point the reason they did that, I can tell, is so they fold up like they're supposed to on the droid carriers, but they're just too frail. I don't really play with a lot of sets, but out of all the Legos that I own and have owned, the thing that's broken the most is definitely these little arm pieces that clip in. They tend to break a lot. I don't know if that's just a reflection of the piece or how it moves, but it breaks a lot, kind of right at that joint. So I've definitely had that problem. And it's just not a very good detail either. It's just got the 2 tiny little eyes, and not a whole lot else anyway. There's not really battle damage or scuffs or little wire details or anything. I think they could have done a lot better and still could do better on these. So just not a great minifigure. And the platform that they stand on, the foot platform, is very small, so it's kind of hard to get them to stand up. But also on a couple of these, I have about 30 or 40 battle droids, and on some of them the hips have been really loose, so they tend to be kind of wobbly and lean forward or lean backwards on their own. So there is that. Final choice, my least favorite minifigure, is my least favorite for a couple reasons, but I will explain them here in a second. But it is General Grievous, the original General Grievous. Right away you can kind of see what I'm talking about here. He's got the 4 arms like he should, but they're all in the same spot because they're attached to this really weird Y-shaped body. So they're all at the same angle, which they shouldn't be. And they did fix this later on. The second General Grievous figure is much, much, much better. But you kind of have to lean him back like that and put his arms backwards if you want him to hold the lightsabers. Because if you put him forward, he's got too much weight, and he actually has the battle droid legs that we just talked about. So he can't really support his own weight. And then the head sculpt is really terrible. There's very, very, very little detail. And it doesn't look like General Grievous. It's on one of these the standard minifigure pegs. There we go. It just doesn't work. And General Grievous is one of my favorite characters as far as appearance. Very, very cool. Especially in the original Clone Wars series, not the one that's out now, but the one that came straight to DVD. I believe it was 2004, right before Revenge of the Sith came out in theaters. It was animated by the same people that did Samurai Jack, so that's my favorite Clone Wars series, and it has my favorite version of Grievous. The movie version of Grievous wasn't that great either, in my opinion. But as far as the figure goes, pretty bad representation of Grievous, the provide general does not work at all. So those are my least favorite minifigures. Gosh, I still can't get him to stand up. Stand up. There we go. Those are my least favorite minifigures. I know a lot of you will have a lot to say. So let me know what you think. Last week, like I said, was most favorite minifigures, top 5 favorite, and the last 2 weeks before that was least favorite and most favorite Star Wars sets. So if you haven't seen those videos, please do check them out and let me know what you think. But there is that for you. Next week is going to be all about my car that I've been talking about. I'm picking it up Monday. Very excited to have that all finished. I'll have a long video about that for you. So please come back and check that out next week. So you guys can see what I've bought and what I've been working on and getting rebuilt. So that's definitely next week, unless something horrible happens to it. And my camera is just arguing with me today. I'm sorry about that. I can't really get it to go in focus or look very good. Not sure why that is. But anyways, next week is going to be all about my car that I bought. It isn't a classic car. It's an older car, so that is that. Thank you guys for watching. As always, new videos every Thursday. And I'll see you guys next week.